guys. So Sergei Rozanov, also known in some spaces on the internet as Hot Sergei, did an interview and he didn't really drop any bombs, but he dropped some interesting facts, which does not merit a guys, but definitely deserves at least a guys. Also, if you hear rain in the background, it's because it's raining, so just take it as almost mood lighting for this entire video. So like I said, Sergei Rozanov made a video, or an interview, let's say. I'm making a video. And he said a few interesting things. The first thing that I think we should talk about is that he said he was already leaving Sambo 70, the Krustolny, Team Tutberidze, whatever you want to call them, before Sasha was gonna leave. Sasha Trusova. He said that he already had packed his bags and he was on his way out when Sasha left, and he was shocked. And that he even talked to Sasha's parents saying, "Where are you going? Why are you leaving?" And that they were decided and that they were gonna leave and that they were gonna give Evgeny Plushenko a try in, this version of events. According to Hot Sergei, Trusova's parents was the one persuaded Hot Sergei, saying, "Leave with us. You have been studying with Sasha for a long time," and helped her with her quadruple jumps. He says, guys, don't listen to me. I don't know what that means. But then the parents said, let's give it a try. We're going to give Evgeny Plushenko a try. And he even persuaded them to go to Buyonova's school. Elena Buyonova, who's most famous for coaching at Elena Sornikova. And as soon as he put one foot out the door, he says, I was myself going to leave the Krustolny. I did not care. And then Sasha asked to support her and help her. And then, yes, Evgeny offered me the conditions. All he did was just put one foot out the door, and Evgeny Plushenko was calling him on his cell phone. And Sasha's parents were planting the seeds. So the way that we've known the story is that Plushenko kind of planted the seeds in everybody and was kind of hooking everybody up. Sasha leave, Sergei Rozanov leave. I'm sure he even went to Daniel Gleikenhaus. I'm sure they went to every single person at Sambo 70. But what Hot Sergei is saying is that no, Sasha was leaving, and he was shocked to find this out. And it wasn't until he talked to Sasha's parents that he got roped in on the flocking of Tutberidze to Plushenko action. And it was only then that Plushenko offered him the position, which is an interesting twist on this story. A different tale of events than we've heard. Another question that a lot of people were curious about is that did Aliona Kosornaya and Alexandra Trusova really not want to work together? And he said that yes, that is true. That once he started working with Aliona, Trusova decided that it was no longer necessary for him to work with her. That is a nice way of putting it. I imagine it was a little bit more dramatic than that, and that Trusova's dad was involved in passing that message along. Another thing that was very, very interesting is that he says that he's doing fine, that he has his own group, that everything suits him, that he's trying to push the sport, and that him and Plushenko are good coaches. It doesn't matter if you're an Olympic champion or not, but that being an Olympic champion like Plushenko is definitely says that he has stuff to teach, that he has stuff to give, that he can become a good coach, that anyone can become a good coach if you live by the business, use your brains, and have patience and luck. I don't know if that was a read or not, but that's how he said it. And when he was asked, should we wait for your return as well to the Krustolny? He's kind of the only missing piece, unless the Jelena sisters come back first. And his response was, we will not discuss this topic. I do not want to say yes or no. Time will tell. You know what that tells me? That tells me that if Terry tomorrow says come back, he's running back. That's what that tells me. There's no reason for him to be like, only time will tell. Boy, that tells me you want to go back, all right? And that's fine. Everything doesn't suit you at Plushenko's, and I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Organizational skills are down. More of stuff that he said. Again, this is all from his perspective, so allegedly. He said that back when Eter Georgina was looking for a choreographer to join the team, he had been, kind of aware of it. And just 2 days before he came to the Krustolny, Daniel Gleikenhaus was there. So the interviewer says, if you would have come earlier, would they have taken you and not him? And he says, it doesn't matter. Eter Georgina said that she had already found the person. So he's insinuating that he could have been the Daniel Gleikenhaus. He could have been the second in command at Tutberidze's camp if he had only been there earlier, which is, I don't know what's a scarier thought. That Sergei Rozanov would have been the Danny G, or the Danny G would have been the Sergei Rozanov mess. Could you imagine those positions in a different place? I feel like it somehow would have been even messier because Danny G likes to talk to the press. And this is the first time really that Sergei Rozanov is kind of making his voice heard. Another fun thing that he was asked about is, we all know that Daria Soshova and Alexandra Trusova, while she was with Angels of Plushenko, had the exact same music edit. It was 3 different songs matched together, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm remembering that correctly. But it was the exact same music edit. Like, there's no way that was a mistake. Like, somebody used the exact same edit for those 2 girls. And rumor had it that it was Eter who, as an act of defiance or as a little bit of shade, kind of used that Sasha's edit, which she left with, and gave it to Daria. That was like the word on the street, or on the internet, of his Twitter, if you will. And he says, the programs of Sasha Trusova and Daria Soshova last season are the same music with the same arrangement. I don't know how that happened, but I offered this music a long time ago to Polina Surskaya, at least the start of the program. Polina is a stately, tall figure skater with powerful skating. That tells me that it was probably a mix that was floating around in Sambo 70 for a while. And once Sasha confirmed that that was definitely the mix she was going to use for the season, Eteri made sure that she used that mix on whichever girl. That could have easily been Maya's mix or Camila's mix. Actually, no, Camila was stuck with Bolero. God, Bolero. But let's not focus on that. So he inserted himself in that little piece of drama, saying that he was the one who came up with the mix, or at least the beginning parts of it. The interviewer pushed this kind of idea that Kostornaya and Trusova did not want to skate together, which of course at Sambo 70 they all train together, they all skate together. Part of the reason why I believe Sambo 70 is so good at creating these champions is because it's become a factory in kind of the way that competition thrives there, and such high-level competition will inevitably push you further. And the interviewer says, maybe Trusova and Kostornaya would have had better results if they had worked together. And he says, maybe better, maybe not. I don't want to go into it. I know that more could have been done. Yeah, we all know that. But it didn't come as news to me that they came back and didn't get the successes that followed them at Angels of Plushenko. The point here is not that Evgeny Plushenko and I are, as they say, bad coaches. There you go, defend yourself. Leaving Eteri Georgina, the athletes don't understand that Tutberidze is a very strong coach for them, who brought them to this high level. And leaving a specialist of this kind, the athlete loses a piece of themselves. So, accrediting Eteri for kind of giving them the success, he even goes in further and says, when he was asked, why do you think that those who leave Tutberidze don't succeed and come back, he says, maybe it's the system, maybe the discipline, or maybe they don't have enough of Eteri Georgina herself. The contact with her, the mood that she gives in training and at competitions, still with her, they became what they are now. Which I think it is true. Kostornaya did touch on that on her Repent for Your Sins interview when she came back to Sambo 70, saying that it became clear that she had no motivation to try her 100% or even maybe 120% of every single practice because Eteri Georgina wasn't there to, I'm not going to say scare her into doing it, but definitely motivate her into training harder and harder at every single practice, and practice with a full run-through like it is a competition every single time, and do as many repetitions, as many jumps as you must to stay at that high level. So, again, not a lot of groundbreaking things out here, but definitely a lot of little nuggets. I think it's very interesting how he's doing this interview. To me, the most curious part of this whole thing is, why is he doing this now? Is it for money? He says he's still at the Angels of Plushenko, but I'm pretty sure this interview shows that he's looking for his way out. I mean, literally, when asked, should we await the news of you coming back to the Crustoni, which I already was kind of predicting that he was going to come back, or leave Angels at least, Angels of Plushenko. He said, I don't want to talk about it. Only time will tell. That tells me he's literally broadcasting to the world, hey, Eteri, if you want to take me back, I will. But then at the same time, last time somebody insinuated that he tried to come back and was denied. He literally screenshot it and wrote fake news. So I don't know if now desperate times call for desperate measures and he's going back on his word. He actually is trying to get back into the Crusoni Sambo 70 team Tutberidze. Or if he's prepping himself with this interview to be a little bit more of a personality and give himself a little bit more of an ego boost. Maybe that's why the last time he wrote fake news on it, maybe the aspect of it being put out in the world that he was denied, coming back to the Crusoni hurt his ego. But right now he's definitely putting it out there that he's looking for a second home or for a new place to call home. I don't see anything in this interview that says I'm happy where I'm at. Yes, he says that still working at the Angels of Plushenko and that things are suitable for him, but suitable and only time will tell tells me that he's open to new options. I mean, he was denied by CSKA. This is confirmed. So, I don't know. The timing of this interview is what's stressing me a little bit. What does he want to say with this interview? In my head, he wants to come back, and that's why he's putting this out there. But regardless of that, all those little nuggets, we kind of knew. This just gives a little more insight as to how things went down, but we all know what went down. We know that Sasha's dad was the main, guy behind this move. Everything is going in such a way that we want to transition. That's the way that Sergei Rozanov explained it, which basically meaning Sasha is not being prioritized, not being given enough attention here at the Crusoni, which for both Kostornaya and Sasha backfired because Sasha left apparently because she wasn't getting enough attention, right? She goes to Plushenko's camp. She is literally the main focus, still doesn't get the results that she wants, so she comes back, definitely not getting enough attention now. Kostornaya leaves because she says there wasn't a connection with the coaches anymore. Well, girl, now that you came back, there's even less of a connection. They don't trust you. They put you in a freaking trial period. And now you got back kind of your 3A, like you're still not landing it correctly. It's still not secure in there, but you're definitely back now that you can kind of land it. And when they asked him, why do you think that people who leave Tutberidze are not successful? He said, maybe the system, maybe the discipline. That maybe the system question answer definitely says more than, you can read between the lines. The system, basically, the ISU loves Tutberidze, the Russian Federation loves Tutberidze, and that anyone who is with Tutberidze will not only be, worked to the bone and have motivation because of the high competition at the camp, but they will have politics behind them. They will get the points that they need. Judges will be more lenient when they under-rotate or when they do 2 feet skating or when they jump with 2 feet or when they use their full blade on a toe pick. These things will be overlooked more easily because you're a Tutberidze. Not only is more expected of you, but your errors are kind of glazed over and your power is romanticized and all this stuff, It is a cult of personality, not just for the fans who create these fan accounts and follow and stand the group as a whole. And as soon as they leave, they're the enemy. They left us. Blah, 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 blah. If you read the comments of some of these articles, it's insane. The things that they still say about Sasha Trusova, about Alyona Kostornaya. They still even talk badly about the love of my life of Genya Medvedeva. They compare them to these girls. I will never forget there was a comment that said something along the lines of when Kostornaya did her big Say It To My Face interview, they said someone please take away the Evgenia Medvedeva manual of Kostornaya's hands, even though she was doing it with a little bit more boldness. Evgenia never really talk to Terry like that. She insinuated stuff about the camp, but never Terry herself. Anyways, this cult of personality works also with the judges. And there's also politics behind. Now that Tatiana Tarasova is Terry's best friend, that's even more of a bonus. I mean, if you don't know who Tatiana Tarasova is, for those who've never heard that name, she is essentially the Eteri of back in the day. She had all the skaters across disciplines. Unlike Eteri, she had success across all disciplines. And it is rumored that she was the one who made it happen for Evgenia to escape Eteri and go to Canada. I shouldn't say escape. Leave Eteri and go to Canada. But she was also the one who roped her back in. And ever since Evgenia came back, they've been besties ever since. So the politics are behind Tutberidze. The fear factor, her aura, her competitiveness of her camp is also in there. So kids are working as hard as they can, being scared of being replaced. Everyone's replaceable. Everyone is replaceable at Sambo 70. And the fact that this is a massive opportunity for Russia, the reason why Rusfed, my theory as to why Rusfed is so much in the hands of Eteri Tutberidze is because they know that there's opportunity to sweep the Olympics, which is very much real right now. Russia has a very, very good chance of sweeping the entire podium at the Olympics, all through Tutberidze students. That is an opportunity that does not come a lot. that is an opportunity that comes few and far between. This is an opportunity that might not arise in another 4 years. Who knows? Who knows if the US is going to have an amazing lady skater? Who knows if Japan is going to have an amazing lady skaters for the next Olympics? We don't know. So Team Tutberidze is really setting their eyes on not just they know they're going to get to the Olympics, they know they're going to get the gold medal. The real goal is sweeping the entire podium, not just for Russia, but for Team Tutberidze. And that's why Rusfed, I think, is just in Eter's palms right now, because they want that. They want 3 Russians up there. And the girls who have the most chance are all Tutberidze girls. There's only 2 in the national team right now that are not Tutberidze girls. Elisaveta Tuktemisheva, the Empress, who is even crazy that she's really genuinely in the competition, in the national team, silver medalist at 2021, sorry. Like, all these things are unbelievable for her, but they still are real, and she's in the running, but, you know, she's not far ahead in the running. And then Lisa Nugumanova, who is still just a reserve, and honestly is just there because if we go down the list, her name is there. Like, nobody really thinks she's gonna get on the Olympic team. Remember, only 3 spots and 3 places on the podium, and Russia has their eyes set on all of them. Guys, the Olympic season is about to begin and things are gonna get a little bit crazy. So yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this Sergei Rozanov interview. I don't speak Russian, so I'm basing everything off of translations of articles and stuff. I will still link the interview down below. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of all this. If there's any little nugget in there that I missed that you thought was interesting enough that I should have talked about. Do you really think Sergei's gonna come back? I think there's a very large chance, but it all depends on whether they want him to come back or not. At this point, I don't think he's gonna come back for the Olympic season. I think he's better off either going abroad or going to another camp. But I do not think he's gonna stay with the Angels of Plushenko for another year. I just don't see that happening. He doesn't have any skaters. Anyways, hope you enjoyed this video. Very random, very much a filler video. And you know, it's been a while since I've just talked to you guys by myself. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Twitter and Patreon are in the link. Shout out to Natalia, Scotty, Leslie, and Timothy, my VIPs. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.